Welcome to the Commissioner's Corner show for May of 2021, our first maskless endeavor as a group, and we're all proud to be vaccinated and able to do this in a private little studio here. So I'm your host, Scott Vargo. These are your commissioners, Elizabeth Lawrence, Josh Blanchard, and Tamara Pogue. So we're going to dive right in, and the first thing we're going to talk about is COVID. And so, Josh, you're going to kick it off, talk a little bit about us moving to level green.
Yes, if you haven't heard, we are in level green. It's very exciting for our community. And it took us a while to get here. So first we'll start and say thank you to our community for really taking all the necessary precautions as we've worked through this difficult time. As Scott mentioned, we have gotten vaccinations, and that's been the key to being able to be in green. Right now, there's two metrics that have allowed Summit County to be in green. We're really keeping our numbers below that 100% incidence rate. We've had that now for going about 2 weeks. And also working toward that goal of the 70% of Summit County vaccinated here in the community. And so we're working toward that goal. And as Elizabeth pointed out earlier, at last week's work session, we beat our own goal by just over 3 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
We were hoping that we would be in this position by Memorial Day weekend, and here we are. So that's very exciting. Now, what that means, though, is that there's all sorts of different questions about what the restrictions mean for our community. And so that's what we're working through right now. We have put out the changes to the public health order, and as you can see, you can be indoors with other folks who are vaccinated without their masks. What else can we do under these restrictions?
Well, I think it's important to remember that it really means we are 100% open. So our restaurants can go back to full capacity. Our gyms and our small sort of boutique fitness centers can go back to 100% capacity.
Personal services?
Personal services can go back to 100% capacity. It really does mean that we're open. We've just got some remaining mask requirements, and that's primarily because we have to keep in mind that our kiddos are not yet vaccinated. And so we're really asking for the county to hang on just a little bit longer with masks in public settings to make sure that our kids get as much safety and protection as we possibly can.
But hopefully by the time this airs, we'll be vaccinating 12 to 15-year-olds. Rumor is sometime this week, May 10th.
It actually just came out while I was on my way over.
Yes, okay, good. Well, that's wonderful. So we'll have that going, and that will get our middle school kids and younger high school kids vaccinated, which is great, because a lot of those, 14, 15-year-olds in the county work, this summer, and so to have them vaccinated will be great.
Absolutely, absolutely. So really wonderful news, as you guys have said, a little bit ahead of schedule, and so we're working on clarifying some of the information within the public health order. We always know that when we put some of that out, we're going to get unusual or different circumstances that maybe we didn't think about, and so we'll continue to work to refine those documents, make sure that we get the messaging out so folks know what they can do and where they can do it and when they can do it, all those good things. So. Great.
And we're moving forward, right?
We are moving forward, and that's the key, is that we won't be moving back unless we hit some sort of catastrophic rate with our hospitalizations. So this is positive news. For one of the things that we were so concerned about as we were really thinking thoughtfully about this process is we really wanted to avoid that yo-yo, that back and forth. And so we are forward moving.
Yep. And again, everybody, if you're in the process of being vaccinated, so you've gotten one shot, please stick to your schedule, get your second shot. If you haven't gotten a shot yet, it is readily available within the community. So please do get vaccinated. The more folks we can get, the better. The safer the community will be, the less likely we will be facing any sort of a surge or any sort of an increase in cases. And so again, encourage everybody to take advantage of the vaccines that are available. They are safe and they are effective. So thanks. We'll move on. We talk a lot about COVID, and I know we want to talk about other stuff. So Elizabeth, it is construction season, and so the last phase of the Highway 9 project that 4 lanes the road from Breckenridge to I-70 is scheduled to happen starting today, which didn't happen because it was snowing. But talk a little bit about the GAP project.
Yeah, construction season in the high country for sure. We were hoping that would get started. Last year was phase 1, which was impactful. I think we all sat in that traffic. It was actually over the last 2 years that we really dealt with that, and we know we're going to have tough impacts this year, but we got to get it done in a short amount of time. And so phase 2 of this project is really going to focus, if you're coming from Breckenridge, as you get closer to Frisco and Main Street, and if you're coming the other way from I-70, really as you get closer to the hospital. That's going to be the really impactful part. What's going to happen is there's going to be a new roundabout added at 8th Avenue. So if you can picture where Summit Fire and EMS has that station, and there's the condos with the clock tower, it's kind of right in that intersection. We're going to get a roundabout there to help those people that live back in that part of downtown Frisco be able to get out easier for emergency services, etc., and keep it flowing a little better. It is tight in there. So that's going to be the toughest part, is that we don't have a lot of extra room to do that. And so engineers have come up with a great plan, but it's going to make getting traffic during the construction really difficult. So we want to warn people about that. The good news is that the temporary part of the roundabout, the temporary kind of 8th Avenue roundabout, should be done by July 1. So really, as summer is really going, hopefully that part will be in there. We had that, I guess, last year or the year before, where they did kind of a temporary roundabout with barrels before they actually poured the roundabout. And it actually worked well because it trained people to learn how to use the new intersection, etc. And then a lot's happening at the intersection of Highway 9, which is also known as Summit Boulevard, and Main Street, Frisco. There's going to be some pedestrian improvements in there, as we've all seen over the last couple of years. More and more people are walking from downtown Main Street, Frisco, over to the marina, as Town of Frisco has continued to do those improvements there. There's going to be a new signal, all sorts of stuff going on in there. So this is good, but it is going to be impactful. So we want to warn people so you can plan ahead for this summer and hopefully not get caught in the mess too bad. So plan, always be checking. I think CDOT website always has updates. We'll have updates as well. And then we use alerts. They're really good about putting signage out if there will be lane closures, etc. So we ask people to look for that.
Yep. It is a short stretch of road, but it is a very utilized stretch of road. And so it will be a little bit painful this summer, but then it'll be done. We will have then completed this project. And again, much like hitting our COVID goals early, this is a bit earlier in terms of timing from what we really thought when we were projecting to be able to get this thing 4-laned. There was some dollars available, and we've pushed really hard with CDOT and been fortunate to be high on the list of priorities. So
and all
excited.
4 of us remember back in the olden days when it was just 2 lanes.
Yep.
That's right.
And if they ever had to do any sort of work on one of those, it was the worst. And so this is great that now it's really helping. We have so many more buses going that way now. I mean, this is really the right direction to move. So.
Absolutely. Commissioners, anything else to add?
You know, I'll just add one thing that I'm personally a little sensitive to. I think sometimes in these constructions, you know, Google Map or Apple Maps will give you some sort of alternative ways around it. And I would just encourage everyone to, you know, maybe just try and allocate extra time as opposed to going around. You know, those roads back through Bill's Ranch, back through County Commons are really not made for that high level of traffic. And so it really will create some infrastructure problems that then we'll have to go out and fix again if folks rely on those back routes too heavily. And so, you know, just our plea to, you know, plan extra time, think about whether or not you can go over Swan Mountain, and just help us get through this as best we can.
Oh, excellent point. And we would certainly encourage Swan Mountain, but going through neighborhoods, especially, you know, in the Bill's Ranch area, that is not paved, even though, you know, it's so close to a highway, that's still dirt roads in there. I mean, it's just not made for that level of traffic. And so we will be working with residents in there to try to mitigate the impacts as much as possible, but excellent points. So.
And it is a high use area with recreation and families and kids and dogs. So just be extra careful knowing that if you're going to be going through that intersection.
Yep, very true. There is a new underpass there, though,
Yes.
Which has anyone got to use that yet?
I don't think it's functional.
I
at
don't
the
think
moment.
so yet either, but it will be soon. And so hopefully that will
Pedestrian
help.
underpass.
Pedestrian underpass, exactly. Though we might get a fox or so through there as
and
well.
wildlife.
So
Certainly
let's
they're
hope
allowed.
that we don't get a moose stuck in there, but you never know.
Yep. All right, great. That's wonderful information. Again, pay attention to alerts and information so you know when the shutdowns are going to happen. They're going to try to maintain one lane each direction as much as possibly practical throughout the construction season. So hopefully that doesn't cause too many problems. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about housing in Summit County.